Hi, I'm Dustin Abbott, and I'm here today to give you a... Hello, Ferrari. Hi, I'm Dustin Abbott, and I'm here today to give you a review of Sony's newest device that may just be a must-have for you. It is the somewhat poorly named GP-VPT2BT. I mean, if that doesn't roll off the tongue, I don't know what does. But despite the somewhat awkward name, they could use some help in their naming conventions on this. This is an incredibly useful remote trigger, handle, and tabletop tripod for your Sony-based camera. And while they have had something similar in the past, it's not just physically upgraded here, but the most important thing that they've added is the ability for it to wirelessly control your camera in a number of ways. So we're going to explore why this is a useful device, why if you are a vlogger or even just a general purpose shooter, it can add some flexibility both into your stills and as well as video photography, but particular if you're into video. So we're going to jump in and first of all take a closer look hands-on and then explore a little bit of what you can do with this useful little device. So first of all, taking a look at the overall specifications in terms of our weight here, 215 grams or 7.6 ounces, and it can take a maximum payload of 1.5 kilograms or 53 ounces. So, hefty enough to take on a variety of, different payloads here. So what you have here is you have a knob that will allow you to rotate it and lock it into a few different positions. Also, you have a tension type knob that will allow you to control how much kind of tension you want here. And so right now I've got it a little bit heavier. You can loosen that up kind of depending upon what you want, but so it will lock in with a lot of rigidity. Then also extremely useful is that in the handle itself, it can convert into an actual tabletop tripod. So it's easy to attach it like this, and then using this knob, you can lock it down, and then quickly you have a nice rigid match there. So whether you're using it in this kind of format as a handle, also of course you could rotate it around if you're wanting to use it more in a vlogging type position, and you can do it that way. And so it's very useful for all of these various functionalities. And then of course the ability to convert that into a little tabletop tripod. And so say for example here, say I wanted to do a macro type shot, it's nice and stable, and as you can see, it holds up quite well. So a lot of cool functionality here can be utilized. So first of all, you have basically three different buttons that you can utilize here. One is for taking a photo. And so you can see it's easy to utilize that. And so it also makes it more convenient. Also, if you're shooting videos, to have this for starting your movies. And so you can click that to start video recording and just click it again to take it off. Then also useful is the fact that whatever you have mapped to your C1 button can be remotely accessed. And so in this case, I can switch between full frame and Super 35, which is what I've got programmed to that, or APS-C mode, and you can switch back and forth between those two. So the other interesting thing here is that obviously even if you don't have a zoom lens attached, which I don't, or I should say a power zoom lens, you do actually have an option in some Sony bodies to where you have a couple of zooms associated there. And so you have, an optical zoom. You also have what they call a clear image zoom, where it's actually using additional part of the sensor. And so in this case, it's not a tremendous amount of zoom, but you can actually zoom into a 1.5 times level. So zoom in and out from 1 to 1.5, basically the crop factor, by utilizing that. And then, of course, if you're willing to forego a little bit of image quality, you also have the ability to utilize a digital zoom. And so the digital zoom will actually give you a lot more zoom. You can go all the way up to a 4 times zoom, though it will be, once you cross that 1.5 times threshold, it is going to be at a loss of quality because you're actually starting to actually crop the image rather than, just kind of utilize some unused portion of the sensor. And so, but at the same time, being able to have, even that 1.5 times, having a little bit of zoom capability without any kind of real optical cost, but to have that there as just an option is certainly very useful. And it's obviously not a feature that's really useful to use without something like this. And so to me, it's kind of unlocked the potential of using something like that in a video setting. So overall, you have, when the handles are folded in, it's still, it's nice to hold in the hand, no real issue there. And it does give you a little bit more of extra stability and also range of motion in terms of extending it out from your body. It's not going to be a substitute for a gimbal in terms of the smoothness, but it certainly is an asset. So I can't stress how useful this is if you're wanting to, for example, use a little bit of zoom to add some flexibility to your video capture. Also, obviously, extremely useful if you are a vlogger, because it gives you, number one, unless you're fully invested in something more expensive, this gives you an easy way to hold it at an appropriate distance while also retaining physical control over what's going on, including just, being able to start and stop video production, or if you're just looking for selfie mode, even the ability to take a photo on the fly. But beyond that, of course, I really like the fact that it converts into a very useful tabletop tripod that could be very, very, for example, again, if you shoot video and you're on the fly, even for someone like myself and just, for example, traveling and needing something small and simple to bring along that I could set up on a table and, record a session like I'm doing right now. Also, if you're wanting to do some macro or product type photography to give you some stability, it really is a very, very useful device. And then, of course, the fact that it's all wireless now makes it even more useful, so long as you have a compatible camera with Bluetooth, which a number of Sony's models over the last number of years have been, including the A7R III I've got here and the A9 I'm filming on at the moment. I've also tried it on something like the A6500. And so certainly a very useful device and fairly reasonably priced, all things considered, for a first-party accessory at $139 US. I can look at a number of products that are much more higher priced in terms of the value that they might bring. As far as added stability, while it's no replacement for a gimbal, just the very fact that you're able to hold it in a more secure fashion will give you some flexibility on, the stability of your video footage, I think, even, with that. Although, as I noted, it's no replacement for a true motorized gimbal in that regard. But I do think for many of you, this could be a genuinely useful accessory for your video or even stills photography and is well worth checking out. I'm Dustin Abbott, and if you'll look in the description down below, I do have linkage there to where you can shop for it a little bit more, get more information, purchase one. There's also linkage there to follow me on social media, to become a patron, or to sign up for my newsletter. And if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button right here on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.